afternoon. It's good to see so many of you here. And it's a pleasure to be here this evening to share with you Viva Industrial Trust. One of the jewels identified by RHB, you can see later. So today we will cover, these are the 4 key things that we cover. Key highlights and investment merits of Viva Industrial Trust. Best-in-class portfolio that we have within the portfolio. The latest first quarter financial performance, as well as the outlook and strategic focus for VIT. For those who are not very familiar with some of the portfolio, this is one of the key assets we have within the portfolio. It's called Viva Business Park. This is one of the pictures that we taken post the asset enhancement that we have undertaken and just completed in May this year, fully completed. Okay, this is the structure of Viva Industrial Trust, in short VIT. For those who are familiar with the hotel REIT, you will look at it something very similar. And why we have this structure similar to hotel REIT, because we have a very unique integrated business park development that consists of a hotel. And because of this hotel, we need to have a business trust stapled to a REIT. Now for us, a business trust is normal. It only acts as the lessee of last resort. All the properties are actually held through the REIT structure here. So effectively, we are no different from other industrial REIT you see in the market. So this is the latest performance for VIT. We have delivered a robust first quarter result year-on-year with the gross revenue, net property income and distributed income increased by between 24.9% and 30.8%. The distribution per unit, or in our case, distribution per stated securities, in short DPS, has also increased by 13.2% to 1.854 cents. And this translates to a very attractive annualized distribution yield of 9.5%, based on the closing price of 79.5 cents at the end of this quarter. The portfolio is backed by 9 quality assets, with a total asset value of 1.33 billion, and that translates to an NAV of 39.2 cents. The MPI stands for net property income, has been rising steadily since our IPO back in November 2013. On the back of our strategic new acquisitions, active asset management, as well as one of the successful enhancements that we have did in Viva Business Park. We started with 3 assets back in 2013 when IPO, valued at about 743 million, and has grown to 9 properties as at the end of the first quarter, with a portfolio value worth about 1.3 billion. The distribution per stated security has also been rising in tandem with the rising in the net property income. There's a slight dip in fourth quarter, as you can see in this slide, fourth quarter 2014. This was due to our equity fundraising back in November last year, where we raised equity to fund the acquisition of Shake Europe in November 2016, but the completion only took place in January this year, so there's a slight dilution. As you can see in the first quarter, we covered and keep on beyond the third quarter results last year. This is the price trend of VIT since our IPO in 2013, as well as the total return on investment. There may be price volatility over the years, as you can see from the chart, but the investor who subscribed for IPO in November 2013 will have made more than 32% as at first quarter this year, by first quarter this year. So if you look at first quarter this year, based on the closing price of 79.5 cents, it actually translates to a very attractive annualized distribution yield of 9.5. Today, I think we're closing at about 83.5. But even if the price will continue to trend up, to say 86, 88, is still, the distribution use is still attractive relative to other industrial REIT you can find in the market. In addition to quality, high and attractive distribution yield, VIT also offers good risk and return metrics compared to other industrial REITs, as it has a very low correlation to the market with the low beta of less than 0.3%. So that demonstrates the defensiveness of the portfolio we have within the portfolio. So this slide will show you where are all the properties located. As you can see, all the properties are strategically located in key business parks as well as established industrial clusters across Singapore. With easy access to expressway and MRT, supported by excellent infrastructure. So what we have here is that we have 2 business park property in the east and 4 light industrial buildings in the central part of Singapore. And all of them are within short walking distance to the train station, MRT station, which is very important to ensure the long-term rentability of the properties. We also have 3 logistic properties in the west, in close proximity to the second link, as well as the drone port, and they are also well connected to the highway, which is accessible to other parts of Singapore. In the first quarter this year, VIT has registered a year-on-year revenue growth of 5.5 million, with revenue contributed from our 2 acquisitions, 30 Pioneer Road, as well as 6 Chin Lee Avenue, as well as revenue contribution from the asset enhancement that we have done for Viva Business Park, which I can share with you later. And out of the 5.5 million, about 45% or 2.5 million is actually contributed from the asset enhancement at Viva Business Park. And another 50% or 2.7 million are actually contributed from the acquisition of 2 assets, which is 30 Pioneer Road as well as the 6 Chin Lee Road, which we completed in January this year. Our portfolio valuation has also remained pretty consistent and resilient, despite the fact that the industrial property market was quite weak last year. Our valuation, portfolio valuation has in fact gone up by 1.9% versus a decline of 4.68% compared to a basket of comparable industrial REIT in the market. So compared to a year ago, VIT has further diversified by increasing the number of properties from 7 to 9, and increasing the portfolio value from 1.12 billion to 1.29 billion. Correspondingly, the GFA, gross floor area, and NLA has also gone up, increased to 3.9 million square feet and 3.3 million square feet respectively. We have also improved the occupancy, portfolio occupancy from 86.9% to 91.1% over the same period. We have also enjoyed diversified quality dynamics in various trade sectors, as you can see in this chart here. So for ICT, information stands for Information Communication Technology, which has been a key sector in powering economic growth, averaging about 5% over the past 5 years, account for 35.4% of the underlying gross rental income in the portfolio. And if you were to include another key sector, which is e-business and data center, together they account for 39.5% of the underlying gross rental income within the portfolio. And many of the tenants are actually multinational company or government company, and together they account for 16.4% of the underlying gross rental within the portfolio. So that states well, or lends well the valuability of the tenancy profile that we have within the portfolio. Within the portfolio, we also have diversified quality tenants with strong tenant governance. These are the top 10 tenants we have within the portfolio. I believe many of the names will be familiar. And together they account for only 49% 43.6% of the total portfolio. So it's actually well spread without any concentration, tenant concentration that we have. Okay, this is the risk expiry profile of the portfolio. As you can see, it's well staggered to provide income stability. In fact, we actually achieved more than 90% tenant renewal rate last year with a positive rental reversion of 5.3%. And that's the reason why you see the expiry in 2019 has actually moved up to more than 30%. This is because the typical leases are actually on a 3-year term. So when we move 90% of the lease to 3 years later, it actually ended 2019. And since then, we have actually secured approximately 95,000 square feet of lease renewal and new leases in first quarter this year. Just to take note that actually this chart doesn't take into account the renewal option being granted to the tenant. Because typically the tenant will be given the 3+3 or some even longer renewal term. So this chart doesn't take into account that. So that's why we are able to secure quite good high renewal rate over the years. In terms of financial performance, I think this is actually more detailed as compared to what you see in the highlights in the first few slides. As you can see, we have delivered robust performance for first quarter this year, with the gross revenue, retail property income, and distributor income increased by between 24.9% to 28.9%. The DPS, distribution per stated security, has also increased by 13.2%, despite the fact that the number of stated security has also gone up by 11.2%. And this was due to our strategic accretive acquisitions, active asset management, as well as our successful asset enhancement at the Viva Business Park. On the quarter-on-quarter basis, as you can see, all the triangle is also pointing up. For the three numbers, like gross revenue, net property income, and distribution income, has also increased by between 7.1% to 12.5%. Similarly, the DPS has also increased by 5.3%, despite the fact that the number of security has actually gone up by 6% for the same reasons. As for the financial positions, as at first quarter this year, VIT has the total asset value of total asset value of 1.329 billion, and net asset value of 765.8 million after taking away the total liability of 563.4 million. So that translates to a net asset value of security of 79.3 cents. Our proactive capital asset management has actually mitigated the VIT downside risk by refinancing two of our loan early last year, actually in February last year, each with 135 million. And we have also extended the loan tenure to 4 and 5 years. So that has helped to lengthen the weighted average debt maturity to 3.1 years. The gearing of 39.2% is largely in line with many of the Singapore REIT in the market, with the gross borrowing of 521 million and the all-in borrowing cost of 3.9%. We have also fixed the interest rate for about 15.6% of our outstanding borrowing, with a healthy interest rate coverage of 4.55 times versus our loan covenants of 2.5 times. So for outlooks, according to recent economic data, industrial sector actually has turned positive since the beginning of the year. The total manufacturing output in February this year rose 12.6% from a year ago, on the back of the strong growth in electronics as well as the precision engineering cluster. PMI in March recorded the fastest expansion rate of 51.3 points, up 0.3 points from a month ago. So we believe that with that kind of data, it helps to, you will have a positive impact on the demand of the industrial space going forward. In terms of the supply and demand dynamic, as you can see from the chart here on your left, the demand for business park has actually rebounded since it hit the bottom in year 2013. While the bumper supply of business park from 2014 to 2016 has actually exerted pressure on the occupancy as well as the rental of business park space, despite the strong growth in the demand for business park. However, going forward, with the limited supply of business park space coming on stream over the next few years, VIP business park focused portfolio actually is well positioned to cater to the need and demand of these growth sectors. The Committee for Future Economy has actually outlined the direction for the Singapore economic development, and also provided a broad strategy for the industry transformation plan that will granular and cut across many industries. The key theme for this initiative is to enhance the productivity as well as lowering the manpower dependency through technology. So you can see that the two key business park assets that we have within the portfolio, namely Viva Business Park as well as the UE Southeast, that offers campus-like environments as well as the vibrant decentralized facilities, is actually well positioned to cater to the needs of these high-tech as well as the ICT sectors. Here are the recent study by CBRE on the rentals of business park space across the island. It shows that the rental of business park space in the east remain competitive compared to those in the central as well as the western regions. So zooming to Changi Business Park, where one of the key assets is located, you can see that rental of building actually varies depending on firstly the micro location, the age of the building, as well as the condition of the properties. UE Southeast, as well as the one in Changi City, commands the highest rental in view of its strategic location right at the heart of Changi Business Park. And it's only a stone's throw away from the existing Expo station. As for UE Southeast, you have a direct access to the upcoming downtown line, which I think is going to be operational by October this year, via the subway lane. So the accessibility is even better now with the upcoming downtown line. Also, the UE Southeast is also a very rare integrated mixed-use business park development that provides convenient access to retail F&B, hotel accommodation, as well as MICE facilities. So there are only two in Singapore. So one is UE Southeast, the other one is actually across the road, which is a combination of one at Changi City and the Changi City Point, which some of you may be familiar. So for Viva Business Park, this is another key business park that we have. It used to be only a typical high-tech development when VIT acquired it in 2013. And because of this rezoning back in 2008, we saw the opportunity and embarked on this asset enhancement to convert close to 15% of the gross floor area to what use. As for what use, it means highest and best use subject to authority approval. So we have actually executed the asset enhancement over the three phases, as seen as shown in this chart, in this slide. So what we have done is that we actually unlock the value of Viva Business Park by converting prime but unproductive space that were previously used for car park, for rolling gate, to high-yielding white space. And the asset enhancement has been successful. As you can see, that we have actually experienced increasing footfall, as proxy by the increasing car park rental at UDP from the chart on the right. So now we are actually reaping the fruits of this success of AEI at Viva Business Park, as the transformation has actually boosted both the occupancy as well as the rental for the whole portfolio. These are just some slides to show you some of the outlets that we have brought in the Viva Business Park. One of the key tenants is actually Decathlon. And they are one of the mega sport retail stores in Singapore, and it's been very successful. And we're also pleased to share that Harvey Norman is going to open the first outlet store in Viva Business Park probably sometime in July. And from the previous slide, you can see that we actually converted VVP from a typical high-tech development to a very vibrant business park filled with retail, F&B, and many other lifestyle amenities. We actually unlocked their value by increasing the occupancy from 60% as an IPO to 79% at the end of first quarter. And we have achieved pre-committed occupancy for a white space of more than 96%. However, only 56% of the total white space has actually contributed to first quarter income. So we expect more income to come in over the next few quarters. So to summarize, the proposition of VIT, we have the best-in-class portfolio anchored by business park. And business park asset is actually the best asset class within the industrial sectors because of its quality, because of its specification, and also the ability of some amenities that you can find within the business park. And we have a clear growth strategy for 2017 with the growing income contribution from the asset investment at Viva Business Park, as well as from the acquisition of the property newly switched in Europe. And within the portfolio, we have quality and resilient assets that is well positioned to cater to the needs of the growing, key growing sector. So with that, I end my presentation. Do I have some time for some Q&A? So maybe we still have some about 5 minutes. If you have any question, and please feel free to ask. Sorry, we want to say a mic for.
Notice that the Viva Business Park and Junction Square only have left 14 years of land lease. And you investing so much in the Viva Business Park. Okay. How difficult is it to renew the land lease income?
Sure. I think that is a good question. For any REIT, not just us, if you want to invest in industrial property, we have to live in the short leases that the government is actually implementing. Going forward, you know that all the new leases are maximum 30 years, some are 20 years. So to answer the question, we have seen precedent where property has been renewed if they are good proposition. And based on our understanding from JTC is that they will actually have a policy to look at extension once the lease go below 15 years. Even though I think the properties that you mentioned are under HDB now, but they are in the process of actually migrating to JTC, so it can complete by sometime next year. So with that, we will be engaging JTC on extension. There could be some premium to be paid to top up. There may be extension, but top up to whatever maximum that the government can allow. But if you were to go to the JTC website, it's actually quite transparent. You can see what kind of land price you need to pay for 30 years in different locations. But if you look at the price, it's actually still much cheaper than what you can get in the open market. So it still makes sense for us to actively extend the. I thank you for your attention.